Clapp. All things being equal, a diner is a diner. Chips is like Eddie's, it's like the Glider, it's like the Gourmet, it's like the Summit, and it's like the Wellsboro or the County Seed or the TikTok. No, wait a minute, not the TikTok. Those New Jersey establishments put on airs. They sell you expensive food and even have tablecloths sometimes. But if a diner doesn't smell a little like cigarette smoke and old grease and fresh bread, there's no reason to eat there. Young's in Mahoopany can smell a little like dairy cows now and then. The good old boys come in from the farm and get a coffee, some pancakes, and home fries before they go about their business in town. And they don't change out of their barn boots either. If a diner makes you dress up, if you walk in the door and you don't see guys with baseball caps that advertise everything from best value plumbing to the Yankees, if you don't hear loud local accents and the waitress doesn't call you honey or sweetheart, then you're not in a diner. If blue or gray-haired old ladies in plush pantsuits don't sit as matriarchs with grown children and grandchildren crowded into the corner booth or the long table in the dining room, then you are in the wrong place. And at Good Eats, not all the blue-haired ladies are customers. There's Phyllis, for example. She's been working here since 1956. She was younger then. We were all in our youth. And she zipped from table to table. She could load 4 plates on each arm. She could pour coffee quicker than anybody in Mountain Crossing, and she never spilled a drop. She was lighter than air, dancing from counter to kitchen to table and back again. Her laugh made the old chrome gleam, and she knew every song on the jukebox if you called out the letter and the number. My dad, the greatest storyteller that ever was, reported all this to me as the gospel truth. After Nam, I took over the county's newspaper from him and kept an office across the street in the Chronicle building. But all the real news gathering was done from Booth 5 at Good Eats. Phyllis got married, the only weekend she had off in years, to a James Dean type who rode a big black Harley. She would be serving a customer coffee, pie, and banter, and suddenly look up. Her regular face wore a look that was kind of nice but tough. A look that told everyone that she would joke, but nobody could get fresh or push her around. But that regular face of hers would get soft and dreamy. The regulars all knew that she had heard that motorcycle. She blushed when her James Dean thundered into the wide paved parking lot. She even giggled when he came in the door and gave her flowers in front of everybody and stole a kiss. And soon, happy Phyllis seemed to be carrying a basketball under her waitress uniform. Soon she had a custom-made Good Eats pink maternity smock instead of the pink shirt the rest of them wore. And then she missed a whole week, a whole fortnight, a whole month of work. The coffee wasn't as good, the pie was stale, the sugar jars were never full, and there were ketchup fingerprints on a window or two. It seemed that the whole place was flat, like soda pop that left open too long. And then one day she was back. She seemed shy at first and too thin. There were dark circles under her eyes, and she'd lost a little zip. But Good Eats and Phyllis were good for each other. Soon the glass sparkled and the days got bright again. Coffee flowed in rich brown rivers, and the meringue perked up on the top of each key lime or lemon or coconut pie. Everybody came to Good Eats for the food, but like they say on the Food Network, it was all about the presentation. And back then, Phyllis was the presentation. Buffalo china, chrome, and a squat round coffee pot were her medium. Each big smile and bigger tip was its own reward. But the Harley-riding James Dean look-alike husband of hers didn't like his woman working. That's how he said it, his woman. Like she wasn't a national treasure. Like she didn't belong to every hard-working hamburger eater in Rogers County. And during that time, if you were there when the Harley roared up, you could see her cringe. You could see her wince and her bottom lip tremble. And if you timed it just right, or more likely just wrong, you could hear an argument, hotter than the grill, erupt in the kitchen on the other side of the swinging door. One day, afterwards, with her not-so-dreamy dreamboat, Phyllis ran to the ladies' room. Patty, another Good Eats girl, followed her in. When they came out a while later, there makeup on, she charged from table to table before the good food got cold. And she stayed past her shift, not talking too much, but quiet in her corner with the local paper and untouched pie. So she was still in the diner when the cops, Sergeant Banner and his young-faced deputy Roy, told her that the Harley had missed a turn down on 92. It had crossed the tracks and plunged into the April cold river. It doesn't pay to look too much like James Dean. And that's the third time anyone could remember Phyllis missing work, the day of his funeral. The diner even closed, and it hadn't closed since VE Day. After his dry-eyed service, she went back into the diner. Everyone had been at the funeral, but now they too drifted towards the comfort of the diner. Bob, the owner, and the one who made such great pie, let the town in for free for a couple of hours that afternoon. Soon, before anyone could stop her, Phyllis had her apron on over her black dress and was pouring coffee and collecting sympathy. That was the only day the regulars poured out more than Phyllis. She poured coffee, and they poured back good wishes. It was a great day. And after that, little Jenny Wren, Phyllis's daughter, no bigger than a Wren, she came to work too. When she wasn't in school or Girl Scouts or 4-H, she was on the stool closest to the ladies' room. She did her homework there, brought her friends there after school or a dance or a movie. The regulars could tell what college breaks were because Jenny came back to the diner instead of getting off to Fort Lauderdale like those other shallow co-eds. And when Jenny grew up, she couldn't leave. Even with a college degree, she came back to the diner. She came back with a more reasonable husband than her father had been. He took her old stool, and she put on the pink tweed shirt and went to work. He kidded his mother-in-law something awful, but you could see some of that old look in her eyes when he came into the place. You could see her begin to grin when his old truck came into the parking lot. You could see her eyes gleam when he came blustering in and kissed her cheek while everyone watched. And you could see a duet then. The reasonable husband sitting on his stool, all the regulars in their booths, while Phyllis and Jenny danced from the counter to the tables before the food got cold. Phyllis was a little slower maybe, but still full of honeys and sweethearts, and never spilling a drop of good eats good coffee. And all things being equal,